This Swiss roll recipe is a real crowd pleaser and it's a great way to use fresh British raspberries, and they're in season right now and available in Morrisons. You want 4 eggs, and then we're going to add in the sugar. So just pour that in, and then we're going to whisk this until it's really light and fluffy. Add in the vanilla extract. You want a teaspoon, and then a tablespoon of water. Just pop that straight in. Now the really important bit is to add in the flour really carefully, just kind of scatter it in, because what we don't want to do is lose any of the air. And then the secret now is you spoon in one hand and the bowl in the other. Turn the spoon one way and the bowl the other. And what this will do is just gently fold the flour into the mixture and it won't knock any of the air out. So you kind of start at 12 o'clock and finish at 6 until it's all completely incorporated into the mixture. I've got a lined Swiss roll tin here with baking parchment in. If you haven't got one of these, just use a shallow roasting tin. And then just pour the mixture in. Make sure you get all the mixture out. There we go. Now, give the tin a little shake and a move around and let it get into all the corners. We can cook this in the oven for 12 minutes now, gas mark 5, 190 degrees. Scatter a tablespoon of caster sugar onto another piece of baking parchment, and then carefully tip the Swiss roll out on top of the sugar. There we go, just move it over into the middle there, and then we can peel the baking parchment off the Swiss roll, and then using a knife, just trim the edges off, move those to one side, and then using the baking parchment as a guide, just carefully roll the Swiss roll up into that familiar shape. Just really carefully roll it up, and then we can leave that to cool for a few minutes. Swiss roll's cooled now, so we can just unravel it really carefully because you don't want it to break. And then I've got some whipped up elm lee here. It's quite a stiff peak, so it's really nice and pliable and should hold really well in the cake. And then just spread it over evenly all over the cake. And then we're going to scatter it with lots of fresh raspberries and just drop them about, I think. Just place them anywhere, really. Should be enough. And then we're going to roll this back up. Using the parchment paper as a guide, just push the Swiss roll over itself and then just carefully roll it out. Try to make sure none of the raspberries or the cream fall out as you roll it. There we go. Perfect Swiss roll. All it needs now is a little dusting with some icing sugar, and then it's perfect, ready for the table. Final thing to do is just get yourself a nice plate, lift it up, transfer it onto that plate. Finally, decorate with the last of the few raspberries and it's ready to serve.